All right, we're going to take a look at the femur. The femur is the thickest, strongest bone in the body. This is the thigh bone. And there are several different structures we want to take a look at here. You're looking at the anterior aspect of the bone, so we're going to take a look at that, and then we're going to flip it over and look at the posterior aspect as well. Let's look at the most obvious thing. The long portion of the bone is called the shaft. Let's go up toward the top. So this is the superior portion of the bone. Down here is inferior. So up at the top here, this is your hip area, okay? Notice the very large round head, and then just behind that it becomes more slender. That's the neck, okay? Now I'm going to turn this so you can see the area where the head is going to articulate to the pelvic bone. So you're going to get into the acetabulum of the os coxa. And so there's an indentation here. All right, that's called the fovea, okay? So that's an indentation in the head of the femur. All right, we're gonna move down here to the area of the knee first. There is a smooth region here called the patellar surface, and then you need to know what is medial versus lateral. Go back up to the top. The head of the femur is always going to be medial. That's going inside toward your hip region, okay? So let's go down to the bottom now again by the knee. This, the bony structures that stick out where you're going to connect to the next bone, so this is an articulation area, these are called condyles. So this one is the medial condyle, this one is the lateral condyle. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip over the bone so that you're looking at the posterior surface or posterior aspect. Here you can really see the condyles. There's an indentation in between the two that is called the intercondylar fossa. Intercondylar fossa. And then when you look kind of above the condyles, here you can really see this ridge. It's very obvious. These are epicondyles. Okay, now I'm going to lay this down because remember the head is always on the medial side. So now that you're looking at this posteriorly, this is going to be the medial epicondyle. This is the lateral epicondyle. Okay, let's go back up to the hip region because we have two very large bony structures here. These are going to only be on the femur. They're called trochanters. This very large one that's lateral is called the greater trochanter. The one that's a little bit smaller, and you'll be able to see this sticking out when you handle the bone, this is called the lesser trochanter. So greater trochanter, lesser trochanter. Now if you take the greater trochanter and you kind of follow it along the edge of the bone, you're going to see this very large raised area. It'll be much more obvious. You can feel it when you handle the bone. That is called the gluteal tuberosity. Gluteal tuberosity. And then it continues down into a ridge that you're going to see along this posterior surface of the femur, and that is called the linea aspera. Linea aspera.